Hey, I'm Tom West. Welcome again to Life in the God Lane. And this is a power verse for the day for the 16th day of March 2022. And it's from Romans 8, verse 6. I call it death or life and peace. Hope you'll subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, get notified every time I put one of these messages out, which is every day. And give me thumbs up, make comments. That all helps. And share this video with someone else so they can just get some regular old Bible teaching on a daily basis. If you were given the choice right now to choose death or life and peace, which would you choose? Romans 8 verse 6 gives us the answer that we should desire. And I'm going to read it from the New Revised Standard Version, translation which does a great job translating this particular verse. Says, to set the mind on the flesh is death, but to set the mind on the spirit is life and peace. Now, any reasonable person would choose life and peace, not death. I mean, that's just only makes sense. So how does a person reset their mind from the flesh to the spirit? Well, if your mind is on the spirit, you have chosen life and peace. On the other hand, if your mind is set on the flesh, you've chosen death. So back in the 60s, you know, when I was a teenager and a young man, we would have said it like this: where's your head at? You know, and it means, what are your thoughts focused on? What you thinking about, kind of a thing. So how do you think and how you think determines absolutely everything in life. How we think determines our life. So here's the key. Reset your mind on the spirit, and you have left the mind set on the flesh with death, okay? With death, you've left that behind, and you have embraced a new way of thinking with life and peace by getting your mind focused on the spirit. There are two keys for resetting the mind on the spirit. The first key, Romans 8:1. We talked about this a few days ago. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. The first key is to make the move over to in Christ from out of Christ. Come into a relationship with Christ. Verse 3 of Romans 8 talks about God's Son, Jesus, doing what no law could do by being a sin offering to pay for man's sin and pass on the righteousness of Christ over to man. So when you get in Christ, when you move from out of Christ to in Christ, the righteousness is passed over to you and things begin to change. The second key is to receive the offering Jesus made for you. How do you do that? Well, you surrender to him as Lord. You surrender to Jesus as Lord. That's done by faith. And such faith demonstrates itself by being baptized into Christ in the likeness of his death, burial, and resurrection. In fact, you know, in the book of Acts, there are 19 conversion experiences, 19 conversion accounts. You know how every one of them ended? Every one of them, the people went out and got baptized. Every one. Because it paints a picture of the life of Christ, attested to by miracles, wonders, and signs, the death of Christ to pay for sin, and the resurrection of Christ. You identify with Christ by faith. Doesn't change the fact that you're saved by grace through faith, and that not of yourselves, it's a gift of God. And it's not a law. You're coming to Christ in faith. You're reborn into a new life focused on Christ and his spirit, which aces out the flesh, defeating death and enabling life and peace for you. Jesus died paying for sin and granting his righteousness to us. And he was raised from the dead, crushing, defeating, stomping on death forever and for good. So receive him by faith. Experience his death, his burial, and his resurrection. Be immersed into him in the likeness of his death, burial, and resurrection. And the mind is moved by God to shift from the flesh to the spirit. Death is left behind, and life and peace are embraced. Go there if you haven't, and help as many other people as you can go there. You will make them better, and their eternity will change. Hope you do that. I will see you tomorrow. Bless your heart.